Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp dropped today.
How did it?
And yeah.
Nice.
It'd be funny if they would have released it on the 1-year anniversary of the war. They're like, we're gonna give the war one exact year before we release this game.
Right.
No, they waited a little bit extra. They gave it a year plus. So yeah, this game is out. I think it might just be Kyle and I on this one. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'll play it eventually because that's exciting.
Yeah. Kyle, what are your thoughts on this? You've played the old Advance Wars, right? So what is this? What is this like jumping back in for you?
It was cool. The graphics immediately threw me off, even though I've seen the trailers, and not in a bad way. Just like, they really changed up some things of how, especially like the in-game graphics look. But I do also like the facelift, like all the character talking heads, kind of got as well. Man, this game is super cool, and it just feels good to like be playing something like this again. Because I don't know, what was it, DS the last time like Advance Wars came out?
Yeah, I think
they took a shot at it one more time, and they were like, "Yeah, this is done."
I think Days of Ruin. What might have been
yeah,
the
that
last
sounds
one?
right. That sounds right. But yeah, this one's got 1 and 2. These are pretty long games if I remember correctly. But also, games always felt long to me when I was a kid. So I'm trying to remember exactly how long it was. But to get 2 like complete games, and I mean, these are remakes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's it's like from the ground up, graphic wise, completely remade. So that's pretty cool. Obviously there's a little bit of voice acting and stuff like that now. That's pretty cool as well. And it's just like, I like Fire Emblem a lot, but I'm now remembering that this is way more tactical than Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Just because you have like units that are just for ferrying people around and stuff like that.
That's right.
And they don't really do anything else but that, So it's just like there's a lot of extra defensive and offensive mechanics like in this game that I feel like are not available in Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem kind of has their own kind of thing going on as well. But like, yeah, I've been really enjoying this. I did all the tutorial stuff in like the first, I think, 3 missions, so I'm not like terribly far into it. I think I'm 5%, I think it said, in terms of my progress. But I've been liking it. How far have you gotten, Tim?
Just a little farther than that. I just beat the mission where you fight against the sniper guy who can extend his ranged units really far, which is very annoying. I forgot how annoying that is when he activates that power. When you think you've positioned the units on this grid battlefield just out of reach of all his rockets and artillery, and then he activates that power, and then they all extend by 2 blocks each, and it's like, well, okay, now I'm screwed because they're that's just for 1 turn, but still, he manhandles you if you're not careful. But they do have a casual mode, which is really cool. They make it so your units will do more damage, enemies do less. They're not quite as smart with their, placement. It's if those of you who haven't played it before, it is a grid turn-based strategy RPG. I would actually say the RPG elements are lighter. It's a strategy game, but you don't do a whole lot of
Fire Emblem.
You don't do. I don't know if you do any gearing or leveling up in this one. I don't think there's anything like that.
I think you get what you get at the beginning of every turn. It's like, this is what you have, and it's like, okay, well, these are my pieces that I have to work with this. So like it kind of simplifies it in that way, but I feel like it's deeper in a lot of other ways. But yeah, I forgot about that. All that stuff is like,
so
there
like
are no leveling up mechanics.
Chess match.
It is like a chess match. Like, because you'll have rockets that do incredible damage from a distance, but they're so weak. Like, and they can only fire 3 blocks or further away from them, so you have to keep them surrounded with infantry or tanks to keep them protected while they're shooting. Like, it's things like that where you're managing your units. I think it's a really fun game. The whole point of it is to essentially capture their headquarters or eliminate all the enemy combatants. There might be some other objectives in some story missions, but for the most part, that's how you win most matches. So like Kyle said, you can throw an infantry into a transport helicopter, and if you're smart about it and have the ability to do this, try to get them to the headquarters if it's not very well defended and take out the other side real quick. So it's a little bit of a almost I thought of, like, for some reason I thought laser tag too, when like, you want to take out the other enemies, but also you can go to their little headquarters and shoot the base. And so anyway, and the idea is to capture cities, and every turn you get money for every city that you have, and then it costs you money to heal and to give ammo back to all your units if they're sitting on cities, or if they're sitting by an APC that can give them more ammo and stuff back. So
being in cities offer you like more defense. There's like terrain.
Terrain's a big deal.
So it's like you can be like up on a mountain while other people are down. Obviously, like higher ground has better shots and damage and stuff like that. So it's like there's a certain level of like battlefield awareness that you got to have in terms of like the whole map whenever you're going into one of these missions. So it's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying it. I love like holding down a bridge, so you have to like funnel the tanks through the bridge, and like you have a unit right there to kind of stop them or whatever. Gives you a little bit of breathing room. It's one of the games where like immediately I was like, oh yeah, I remember how smart I felt as a little kid to like figure out these little kind of puzzles about how do I stop these people from advancing while trying to get my people where they need to be. So yeah, I'm really excited to be revisiting this, especially as a smarter gamer, as we were all talking about the other day. Just the skills of solving problems, stuff like that. I feel like this game's gonna be a little more breezy for me.
Yep. And they do have Fog of War on some maps where you're gonna want to use recon units that are like made out of paper. They die so quick and they're not very strong, but they uncover the map for you. Or like Kyle said, you get up on a mountain that uncovers more of the map. So they add some really cool little, pretty basic, but also just well done mechanics. Like it's nothing that most people haven't seen in some kind of strategy game before. It's just done really well. I don't love the like little battle art style they went with. It looks fine. Like it looks good. It's not like they did a poor job of it. That's not my favorite design type. There's something about the way the little army men look when they're actually fighting that I'm like,
kind of like toys.
Yeah, I don't love it.
I don't love it either. I kind of wish it leaned more into the like anime, like side. If they're gonna go for a style,
Well, when the commanding officers, you have one commanding officer in charge of each army, and they have a special power that over time builds up, and you can activate it. But their animations look great, like especially when they activate their power. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I wish everything looked like that animation.
Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoon, like.
Maybe the Game Boy, because these were Game Boy Advance games. Maybe they couldn't fully handle that. Like
they were. I mean,
but this is remade though.
Like this is completely remade. Yeah, this is not pixel art at all anymore.
Sure.
They chose to go this way.
It almost has
That's
like
choice,
Small Soldiers, or like what was that little green Army Men game they made? The Army Men.
Yeah, just Army Men.
It's called Army Men. Okay. Like a little bit of that kind of vibe, like toys, like Kyle said. So, but they do have a lot of awesome extras too. Of course, they have both games, but you can't access the second game. I don't know when it unlocks, but I guess you have to complete a certain amount of the first game, if not, maybe all of it. I don't know.
They literally
I don't know either. Actually, it sucks. Like, what if you were like, I'd already played 1 1,000 times and never played 2. Let me just jump right into 2. It's
I'm not sure if it's. It might be a thing where they want you to get to a certain point in the first game, because the whole first part of the campaign is kind of tutorial. They're teaching you different elements, introducing new units with each fight. And so eventually a story thing happens and it becomes like, okay, now we're teamed up against this much bigger threat in the first game. Maybe then the second one opens.
It sounds like a very Nintendo thing to do. Like, no, we're going to tell you exactly how to play this.
You're going to play it when I say you're going to play it. It's very Nintendo.
But then, the better you perform in battles, so like finishing the battles quickly, not losing too many units, you get a high score, you earn coins, and then there's a store where you can buy collectibles, whether it's music to listen to, or it could be other commanding officers you can unlock, or maps. That's another thing that made this game pretty special, was they started to add the ability to play outside of the campaign so many different pre-made maps, either against a computer or against another player. And there's online matchmaking, and there's map designs. You can go build.
There's map design too.
You can build your own maps and share them online. So a lot of that's
It's pretty cool.
Very cool. A lot of depth if you really like.
There's a lot of stuff, content in this game, especially for two of these games. It feels good.
Yeah, but it is just straightforward turn-based strategy.
Yeah, it's no frills, but it's about like the essence of strategy.
That's it. Yep.
That's a big old pass for old Jeff here.
Yeah, Jeff looks extremely bored. Let's move on, everybody.
I want to dig back into the story of these characters. I'm just kidding.
What makes them tick?
Yeah, what makes Andy want to serve this way? By the way, his wrench that he was fixing the bike with at the beginning, way too big. Way too big of a wrench.
It's like Sora's shoes big. It's ridiculous. Come on, guys.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, man.
Yeah, the wrench. No one has a wrench that big. Why? Why would you have the wrench?